Hey friends, welcome back to Museful Creations. We've reached prompt L in the hashtag ABC April 2025 challenge. And this one came together with intention, texture, and soul. This prompt called for ledger, labels, lace, and I ended up creating something that also captured my journey back into the creative space after being out of the loop for over 15 years. So here's the final piece, and it's featuring a grungy hand torn coat pocket layered over a custom ISC stamp ledger background. I brought in one of my favorite ISC butterfly images. It has textures and sprays and created a hidden pocket with frayed edges using a ruler technique. It's super soft, soulful, and unexpectedly relaxing to create. Let's get to it. Here are some of the basic supplies that you will need: watercolor paper of choice, your stamp, clear embossing powder, your embossing powder of choice, and a heat gun. Of course, here I am using my ruler to give the digital paper that I am offering for free on my Ko-fi site that frayed edge effect. And it's such a beautiful leisure um, background with additional French script as well. Here I'm showing you that I'm using my favorite ISC butterfly stamp that I heat embossed with clear embossing powder. And here I am showing you that I first used clear embossing powder. And this is how I kind of go with the flow, just getting a sense of what's going to work, what's not going to work. But I opted to stick with the second butterfly where I used archival sepia instead because it's waterproof. So I'm keeping this in the video because I want you to see that it's how we flow as artists. You'll start with one thing and then you'll do something differently. And I really like the effect, as you saw there, that we were able to achieve. And here I've cut out the butterfly. I did add a little embellishment to give it some pop. And now I want to show you a really fun technique that it's been around for a very, very long time. And I'm using brushed corduroy onto my Ledger ISC stamp. And then what I like to do is I like to mist once I apply the ledger stamp onto the paper, I truly love then grabbing some water in a spray bottle, and you'll see in a second that I will be applying it directly after I stamp the image onto this paper. And the effect is just stunning. Here's another technique that's super cool and super easy. You're going to take your spritzer of choice and just apply a little bit on the acrylic block, and then you're going to grab your rubber stamp, and the effect is also super stunning. And that's where on the edge of the paper, you'll see that I've added that vintage teal stamp, coffee uh, ring, if you will. And then I just love how this turned out. And here I will just do a little bit of the uh, stamping with ISC postage stamp after I do this coffee ring effect, if you will. And then we will assemble this together so that you can see the final piece. The quote you see printed on that flap on the left bottom there, that came from a deep moment of reflection. I realized that after being away from the creative world for so long, it was never about trends. It was always about making with intention. That quote became a freebie available on my Ko-fi for anyone who needs that reminder. Every step of this was grounding, relaxing. It was about slowing down, building layers, and finding joy in the texture. So, thanks so much for joining me today. If you felt inspired by this process, drop a butterfly emoji in the comments and tell me, what does intentional creating look like for you? See you next time.